Wait, so talk to me. Oh. I was going to say, talk to me about that. Look what just came out. I was just about to ask about that. And then this fell out. I was going to say, I don't think it went down the way they're telling that story. I got to look it up, but it doesn't feel like it went down the way they're telling the story. And for the FBI, for the FIB to be involved, I know it's going to be a lie. Because these cards right here is like laziness, procrastination, lack of progress, lack of ambition, and stagnation. It's the laziness that gets me because the storytelling is lazy. Like they said, those two were no longer with us. And then they were like, yes, they are. And then I'm like, what? So I haven't followed it because I was like, I'll wait to follow it later. All right, so, well, let's see. Was it a self? It's a maybe card, and it's another maybe card. And then it's a fool. It's a fool's errand. He was sent on a journey. He was sent on a journey. I'm not getting he decided to do the journey. I'm getting he was sent on a journey. The same way that this is that. This is someone else guiding this boat. And I'm getting he was sent on the journey. That's interesting that he would give him asylum considering he undid everything that gray-haired man did. This is where this card is usually, to me, a personal mental trap, right? Because even though it says personal growth, to me, the way that it comes to me is that you're like in a prison of your own making when you have the ability to push this guy off and steer it yourself or get off on these other things. So that always feels like that to me. And so for it to be in the reverse of it, again, there's no control here. So it's feel like they're feeling lost. So like I said, there's no control. And if DT is going to give him asylum, then why would he go after their National Guard? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm saying. The story is lazy. The FIB isn't telling the truth here at all. Because there is some inner conflict here. And it feels like inner conflict with this person. That's so interesting. I just heard very, very clearly I didn't do it. Yeah, the fact that there was some FIBs about whether or not they were on this plane or the next plane was definitely a thing. Something is like nagging me about this. What can you tell me? What can you tell me? Something's nagging me. What can you tell me? interesting. You know, we watch movies and we think that movies are impossible, right? But something that came to mind is mind control. Like literally mind control. If you guys saw any of the Captain America, not Captain, the Avenger things, right? But especially the ones that dealt with Captain America and his people. They had those, yeah, like a neuro thingy, right? And so it's like they had some kind of signal, something that would trigger something. And it's like when I heard I didn't do it, I'm like, what do you mean? You know, because I don't know the whole story. And then I heard they made me do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And that's when it flashed to that particular part of the story. It's like they made me do it. I don't think that's hyperbolic. I don't. And so looking at these cards, I don't think that's hyperbolic. Because when that's pulled out, I got a flash of family. Like a memory, like a... not usually, unless triggered by light. But it's okay. So that makes sense because this previous reading had internal conflict. This here is, like I said, I saw a flash of family, and then I saw this. And this right here, it kind of backs me up here because this is, again, the mental block. This is someone else being in control. This is dishonesty. This is confusion. So with hearing the energy say, they made me do it, this follows for here because it was then followed by this. And this is like, have you guys ever watched Once Upon a Time with Rumpelstiltskin? How there was this, it was either Rumpelstiltskin or some kind of death thing that was controlled by people. It feels like that. This card right here feels like that. Is that he was controlled, and that's what this feels like. He was charmed over here. No, this is the control. This is not like death that way. This is not how it's coming out in this reading. Because death is not a bad thing, usually. Because death also means transformation, means something old is ended, something new is started. It's like when I had dreams of death, right? Like there was a time I dreamt of my stepfather being hit by a car. And when I tell you, like mutilated, like pink matter mutilated. And I was so devastated. Like I cried so much in that dream. And then when I woke up, my entire pillow was soaked because I cared for my stepfather a lot. And so I was so scared that meant he was actually going to die. But what ended up happening is his job moved to a different city. And so he had a choice of either going to that city or not having a job. And he had that job for over 30 years. But the Atkins diet took off, and he worked for a bakery, Wholesome Bakery, the bread company. And people had like sworn off of bread and stuff. And so they started going out of business. And that was such a change and transition for him, right? Because 30 years of his life wiped out. And so that was just one of those things that proved to me that a dream of death is a dream of transformation. So death is not necessarily a bad card. No, my headaches, I've had headaches since I was younger, but they have gotten worse with becoming a teacher because I get triggered by light now. So I get migraines. I don't get headaches. Headaches are just play stuff. I get migraines. That's why I keep a big old bottle of Advil with me, because I can't get caught. But what I was going to say here is that they wooed him over, and that aligns with this thing in April, right? So, oh man, I just took these out of order. No, I didn't. Okay. And this is really interesting because it feels like basically he's been in waiting. Are you talking about when you have spiritual moments? Hey, AJ. Are you talking about when you have spiritual moments? Like, when do you get headaches, Wendy? Listen, anything caffeine means I'm going to sleep because, ADHD, so caffeine does me differently. But yeah, so I see him like suspended, meaning like just in this waiting game. And King of Pentacles. This is usually my DJ card. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this in context to him, though? This feels like being resigned to it and not being able to not being able to make decisions. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't want that. I have dreams. I wouldn't want that one. I'm getting that he wanted to walk away, but I'm also getting that wait. This is just really strange. I don't feel like he was in control of his own mind. It really does feel like the Avengers plot. I don't feel like he was in control of his own mind. He should have walked away. And this feels like he was trapped through that. I don't think he did it for the money necessarily. I can see him being promised something, but it's kind of like he knew it wasn't going to happen. Does it make sense? It feels like he knew it was not going to be what they promised. So it was like he was resigned to it. Look at it. Look at it. The government lied to him. You know? It's the resignation I feel. Like, I just feel resignation. Like, just acceptance. Like, this isn't going to go the way that I wanted it to go. And I think he realized it too late. And that must be why the family, like, flashed in the beginning. Because it's like, I'll be back. I'll bring you over. Start new life. It didn't pan out that way. Is that correct? Yep, he was looking to start a new life. Instead, he's finding basically a death. And he had been manipulated. completely manipulated, and he knows it. Oh, thank you. And he knows it. He doesn't even have the strength to fight it. The strength or the ability to fight it. He knows it. That's... man. Oh, man. Yeah, it feels like resignation, like a little sadness for sure. Because now he's going to spend, if they let him, he's going to spend that time in prison.